Okay, let's talk about queries. Queries are something in Commerce7 that joins the separate data tables within the database. So for instance, if you think of Commerce7 as a big database, which it has lots of different tables in it that interact with one another. For instance, there is a payments table, there's a customers table, there's a memberships table. A whole bunch of different tables make up the database. Queries are a way to join these separate tables so that then you, as an admin, can take a look at the results and then do something with those results. Within Commerce7, there are many things that you can do with regard to marketing and customer engagement efforts. For instance, you can tag those results so that then you can send campaigns, cart carrots, create promotions and coupons, and create loyalty tiers, among other things. And that's precisely why queries are great. Not only can you download the information, just the raw data that then you can play with if you'd like, but the fact that you can do all of these things with the results is incredible for your business. So without further ado, let's take a look at the anatomy of a query and some best practices. The first thing to note up here when you come to the queries page is that there are many different kinds of queries that you can do. Customer queries, order queries, club membership, reservation, club subscription shipment, and club member shipment. So all kinds of queries depending on your task at hand. Now, most of the time, you will be focusing in the customer and order queries. That's usually where you're going to go. But if you are a club manager or a tasting room manager, then you may be also living a bit in these other queries here, depending on what it is that you're trying to do. So the very first thing to think about is, okay, what is the information I'm trying to get? Is it customer-centric? Does most of the information live within the customer profile? Or is it order-centric? Is it, okay, I want to see dollars, I want to base it on specific SKUs that have been purchased, that sort of thing. So let's take a look at the anatomy of a query. So I'm in the customer queries here. I'm going to go ahead and say add customer query. Okay, up here we have title, and that is internal facing. Obviously, this isn't going to be customer facing, so make it something that makes sense to you and your team. Down here we have a couple of filters. So what you want to do is really think about your query and what it is that you are trying to accomplish. So for instance, here we are with customer is found in, or you could do is not found in, depending on what your task is, in the following customer conditions, or club membership conditions, order conditions, or reservation conditions. So again, think about what your task is and what tables you think that your query will be pulling from. So if it's more of a customer-centric condition, then you would choose customer. If it's more order-centric, you would choose order. I'll give you a couple of examples here in a moment so that you can kind of see that in action. Down here we have our conditions, and you can add more conditions. Add as many conditions as you need to. These can be either and conditions or conditions. So lots of flexibility here. Based on what you choose up here, that will define what is available here. So these are customer-centric conditions. You can choose from any number of these depending on what it is that you're after. If you instead are looking at club membership conditions, then those change to be more club membership centric, so you can choose conditions based on that. Likewise, order conditions, these are all order centric, and then we finally have reservation conditions, which are just these four. I'm going to put it up to customer here for our exercise. This center one here is equal to or not equal to, and then you'll have a number of things to choose from, again, based on whatever you chose here. So sometimes you'll see equal, not equal to. If it's a dollar amount, say lifetime value, you'll get something different here. You'll get greater than or less than, and then you'll be able to input a dollar amount. If it's based on date, say birth date, you still get the greater than, less than, but you now have a calendar. If we choose club member is equal to, an active member, canceled, or never been a member. So you get the idea. Whatever you put here, you will get different options here and here. Okay, let's go ahead and create a simple query. We're going to call this one club members with June birthdays. Okay, and down here we have customer is found in the following customer conditions. And again, we are choosing customer conditions as opposed to one of these others because what we're looking for is pulling from the tables from the customer profile. So the club member status lives on the profile, as does the birthday. So that's why I chose that. As we scroll down, let's first choose our birth month is equal to, and let's choose June. Now I could do an or here if I wanted it to be folks who have a June birth month or be a club member. But in this case, I want both because I'm going to be sending a special greeting to them. So I'm going to choose add another condition so that this is an and condition. So now let's choose club member is equal to an active member. Great. So now let's add customer query. Right now you'll see up here we're in step 1, configure. But now I want to execute it. So I'm going to click on execute. Execute the query. You have the choice here to email a copy of the query results to yourself and or include a default address for the customer. So that would be if you were sending the download, for instance, to your mail house so that folks could be mailed a birthday greeting, for instance. I'm going to uncheck both of these and execute query. And I'm going to refresh my page. Alrighty, so here is our result. We have one person in that bucket. Most likely you have a lot more June birthdays than I do in my Sandbox account here, but let's say you had 50 folks in this bucket. You would probably like to tag those people so that then you can do something with them. Maybe send them an email campaign, for instance, or create a special coupon for them, that sort of thing. So in that case, you want to tag them with a customer tag. And you can either update from an existing tag. So if you do that, you click on there and you can choose any number of your tags here. Or you can create it on the fly by create tag from list. You can call it June birthdays and create tag from query. And now this one person has a customer tag associated with them that says June birthdays. All right, let's go take a look at an order query now. So I'm going to go back out to queries and now we're going to the order queries, add order query. So what I want to see are my Nevada customers who have purchased either rosé or Chardonnay, or both. So first I'm going to call this Nevada Chard or Rosé. Down here, order is found in the following order conditions. First thing I'm going to do is my ship to state to make sure I have Nevada defined here. Next, I'm going to add another condition, and now we're going to this first SKU here, which is equal to 21 rosé. And now I have a choice. If I want to see orders that contain either rosé or Chardonnay, then I'm going to go ahead and use or here. If I instead want to see orders that contain both the rosé and the Chardonnay on one order, then I will choose add another condition. But in this case, I want to see one or the other, so I'm going to say or. We're going to go ahead and do SKU purchased, and we're going to say 20 Chard and add order query. Execute, execute, and close, and refresh. All right, we have 48 orders that fall into this category. And now you can go ahead and tag those orders if you would like, which then you can turn into customer tags so that you can do something with that list. For instance, a campaign, a personalization, or cart carrots. If you have any questions at all, please let us know.